Amy here. Welcome back to my channel, Paper Therapy with Amy. This is some pictures from Tunnel Beach in on the Oregon coast. And this is kind of how I'm going to lay out my page. And I did find some inspiration on Pinterest, and then that inspiration happened to be different YouTube videos. So I will link her video so you can go watch her video, but that's where I got this idea. And I'm just kind of following how she did her layout. It's kind of like doing a grid style layout across 2 pages. So I'm just going to bring in my Versamats. I am going to be using Cape Cod, but probably not really sticking to the Cape Cod colors. So I'm going to kind of pick and choose which papers I'm going to use. And I'm definitely going to bring in this yellow, as I'm wearing yellow. This is from Memory Lane, and we'll see what else I bring in. It's a little bit of an eclectic layout, so I think I can bring lots of things in. We'll see. I'm starting here on a mink background, and I like the way it brings the colors of the rocks out. And I've also created this patterned paper using an older stamp of the month. That was one of my ocean themed sets. And I bought it specifically because I knew I had these pictures coming up. I don't buy a lot of ocean theme sets simply because I don't live anywhere near the ocean, and I don't even see the ocean super often, although I do have quite a few ocean pictures coming up here, but in general in my life, I don't. And so it just doesn't seem like a good investment for me. So anyways, I decided to make my own paper with this stamp of the month that we had last year, and I stamped it onto one of the yellow sheets from Memory Lane and kind of created this design. And then I ripped it across, and now I'm just adding some strips and layers. I had a bit of a camera malfunction, and so I ended up not recording any of the video of me making that pattern paper, and so that's why there is no video of that. I also added, so with these strips, I've added on the bottom that, to me it reminds me of a snow fence, but it must be a beach fence, I don't know, but that fence, that oceany themed fence, and that's a sticker from the sticker sheet from Cape Cod. Then the shells along the top are one of the zip strips from Cape Cod. And this yellow paper that I'm using is one from my stash. It's from a former paper pack, and I have quite a bit of it left. So I wanted to bring out the yellow in my top. And I just thought it was a nice complementary color to the blues in this paper pack and in this layout, because of course blue and yellow being opposite on the color wheel complement each other nicely. You will notice that when I tore the first light yellow paper, the one I created myself, I tore it so that the white core is showing of the paper. And then when I tore the other yellow paper, at first I was going to use the one where the white was showing, and then I decided, you know what, I actually like the other one better. I did also ink the edge of that paper just to give it some contrast, and later on, in order to kind of hide a little bit of the white core, because it's so much showing on the light yellow paper, I ink that as well. So most of the pattern paper that you will see in this layout is on the top and bottom. That is how the sample layout was that I found on Pinterest. And when I searched the name of that, the title on that layout, because clicking on the actual pin didn't take me anywhere, so I searched the title in Google, and then it took me to a video on YouTube. So I'll link that video down below. But the only patterned paper other than this will be on mats around my photos. And I also decided, I was playing around with things, and I decided I am going to add the ripped edge facing down and leave those shells just peeking out from underneath. And I really like how that turned out, because I get kind of tired of the 1/2 inch strips. There's so many of them after a while. So I really like that this kind of broke that up. Now I've matted all of my photos in colors that I thought complemented the photo the most. So the different colors that you're seeing here are the yellow, that's an older yellow, I think it was called Dijon, but that's the yellow that I've used top and bottom there, that ripped piece. I've got one of those that's under the picture of me wearing the yellow shirt, the up close picture. Then I've used Lagoon. I've used the back side that's lighter, and I've inked it quite heavily to really tone it back. I liked the pop of color, but I really wanted to tone it back quite a bit. And I've used the sheet in Cape Cod that is all the little oceany icons on kind of a white background. And I think it's maybe the wisteria color. Then there's also that sheet from Memory Lane with the yellow sort of swirls on it. And that's the one I stamped up myself. I did stamp in the background a little bit on my mats as well, just to make them kind of match that strip on the bottom. But I didn't stamp too much on that little tag that's going to be tucked in behind. You just saw me kind of gluing that down. So I put tape runner all the way around the tag, and then I put another piece of paper so I had a pocket. And I added some little pieces of pop tape so that pocket would kind of be pushed open so that you could slide that tag in and out quite easily. And I'll be doing that just from reaching into the page protector to pull that tag out in order to read about this day that we had at Tunnel Beach. The word tunnel is also from that particular paper, that light yellow paper, and the word beach was in the Cape Cod embellishments. I had some sort of crocheted looking ribbon in my stash, and that is what I used on the top of each of these tags. The two tags on the left-hand page are faux, like they're just they're glued in behind there. You can't pull them out. But the yellow one will be the one with the journaling that you can pull out. All of this ephemera that I'm using right now is from the Cape Cod die cuts. And that one piece of coral there, I really wanted to have a little on the other side, and it was hidden anyway. So I just snipped some of it off so that I could have a little bit sticking out on the other side as well. And now I'm just trying to keep color elements and different size and shape shells in each cluster. So behind the beaches calling words, I placed in a little bit of Lagoon paper so that they would show up. Most people I've seen who have been using that little sign there, the beaches calling, have been adding in something behind just so that it really shows up better. And if you have it behind a mixed background, you don't have different colors kind of shining through. Here's a little bit more photo rearranging and decision making here. For this layout, I really did utilize adding some of the design elements right to the photos so that when I switched them around, the design element went with them. I didn't do that all the time, but I did that especially with the title picture and the title because it just was so much easier to move things around and tilt things if I had it all attached together. And I didn't really want to glue it down to the page until I was really sure where I wanted to put things. So I'm so blessed that my husband actually volunteers for a organization that's a not-for-profit, and they put on conferences for anybody involved in architecture or designing schools of how to make better schools. So this is why we are able to travel so much, and he had a conference in Portland. And The Beach is Calling is such a good subtitle because this day we were in Portland and it was raining, as it often does there. And we decided that we would head for the coast because the radar and the weather was showing that it was sunny on the coast. And I just looked on the map and I found the name of a beach called Tunnel Beach. And I thought, well, that's an interesting name. Let's go see what that is. And we parked and we walked down to this beach, and there was this unassuming door, which you see right under my hand now. And I thought, oh, where does that go? It looks like a bunker. So we went through that door, and when we came out the other side, we came out of that cave that you see as kind of the title photo there. And it was just so cool. And there was tide pools, so I was taking pictures of the tide pools and climbing up on the big rocks, and I felt like a kid, and it was just really a neat day to spend with my husband, and it was so sunny and beautiful, even in April. Okay, so as I was telling you that little story, I showed you the Perfectly Imperfect stamp set there, and that is what I'm using, just the one little paint speckles or ink splotches, a smaller one,
to kind of go around in toffee ink around each of my little embellishment clusters. To me, it looks like little speckles of sand or something like that. And I didn't, on the mink background, it doesn't show very strongly, and that's exactly what I wanted. I thought it's busy enough, there's enough going on, but it's nice to just embellish those clusters a little bit with, you know, a bit of shading or splotching, speckling, whatever. And this is really nice because you don't have to just splatter. You can actually decide exactly where you want those little spots to go. If you watch my channel more often, or if you go back and watch any of my videos, and hopefully you'll subscribe to my channel so that you'll be able to see all my videos. If you go back and watch those, you will find that I often say that I can sometimes I don't know how to say it. Like, I don't know when to stop with splotches and splatters and too much of a good thing. So I have discovered that one way to solve that problem is to not use a very different color. So if you go a little bit tone on tone, then it doesn't matter if you go a little overboard. But if you're using a very different color, then you have to be a bit more sparing. That's what I've found in my layouts anyway. Now I'm just going around and carefully using my precision glue to glue down anything that I had just kind of glued very lightly, just because I wanted an ability to move things around. So I tape rendered things down very minimally, and now I went around and glued it down quite a bit more firmly.
Well, everyone, this lovely layout is complete and I'm so happy with it. I think it's really sweet. And when I get the page protector on, I'll just reach into the top to find my journaling here. So, yeah. And I'm okay with that sticking out a little, and it'll be easier to pull. But I'll just lift it up and give you a close-up of all the little embellishments.
You know, even if you don't love the Cape Cod paper pack, I highly recommend you hop on over to my shopping site and pick up this embellishment pack, because these little embellishments are perfect for any ocean themed layout.
There's a small cluster here because I had so much sky, so I could cover that. The beach is calling. Sometimes you make a layout that you're really excited about, and this is one of those. So hope you like it as much as I do. Thanks for watching. See ya.